I've been away for far too long.
That's a 10. That's a 10. And then we can do your makeup in your 10. That's it. That's it. That's pretty.
They're telling me to head your way, down your road and past your gates. Keep your eyes on the horizon.
Ooh.
Too long when I'd already found my home.
Kay found her dress, y'all. She looks absolutely amazing. Like, it made it so surreal to come and like watch her try on dresses. She is a beautiful girl and she is going to be a beautiful bride. Girl, we prayed for you, girl, so I'm glad you're here. My brother couldn't have picked a more perfect woman to be the mother of his child and to be my sister-in-law, because he knows I gave trouble, you know? We weren't gonna settle. So again, Kay, we prayed for you, girl. Now we're gonna go find something to eat. Baby, what a sale price at? I really do need some good pieces, man. These are nice.
Isn't yours?
Okay.
When you're in my arms.
Day girl is going to get her silk press for this year from DRIK. Are you excited? Her birthday is in how many days? 3. And turn, let them see your before. Let's see your hair. All right, so y'all, this is her before with her matcha because she is spoiled rotten. Y'all can get a really good look at us because we are busted and disgusted now. But in about 3 hours, we're gonna be brand new, okay? We are getting her silk pressed today and I am so excited to see how nice it turned out because her first one that DRIK did, it was amazing and it lasted a long time. Hey, lips dry. Help me, Lord. Prince likes to get content for his channel, so that's why I am doing a little bit of makeup because we cannot be looking crazy. He's done my hair one time for Kayla's wedding. He does a phenomenal job. If you are in the Houston area, DRIK is really good too, but she was booked. I had booked Ava's silk press appointment and the intention was to do hers, mine, and my mom's, but DRIK had gone to Bali for a month, so she's always pretty booked, but whenever she got back, girl, all of us was waiting on her, so she didn't have 3 appointment slots for the date that we were available to come, so I let my mom have my appointment, so they're both going to get their natural hair silk pressed and like treated. So I booked with Prince because he does a really good job too here in the Houston area. So if you're looking for hairstylists for your natural hair, I'll link DRIK. Also does really good with like sew-ins and quick weaves and all those things, but she really loves doing natural hair. Prince, I will also link for y'all. He does a really good job with all things extensions. Like, he just does a really great job. if you're like me and you would rather just show up and get taken care of and not be on the hunt for good hair, he also has the hair package where you can buy the hair included in your service. I'm going to get the closure behind the hairline again, and I'm going to do it with the hair that he has provided. Alright, so I'm just going to do a quick 1-2, 1-2, y'all. I don't want to do anything too dramatic. Just a natural little face. I have not had extensions in a while. If y'all remember the last time I got my hair done, well, I just took my braids out not long ago, but before that, I had let DRIK silk press my hair, and it was time for me to get it redone. It was time for me to get my, was it 3 months or 6 months? One of them, to come and get my trim. But again, I gave that appointment to my mom, so I'll do a quick weave for 6 weeks, and then I'll come back and let DRIK do my hair, because I wanted to be really intentional with my hair this year and not just have all the protective styles and not love on my own hair. The other thing is, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to grow out my gray hair. Girl, I ain't doing that. I know it would be beautiful, I know, y'all, but I don't have the patience for it. And when I talked to DRIK about like stripping the dark color off, she was just saying it wasn't healthy for my hair. So the only other thing that I'm thinking is like maybe next year I'll let her strip it. We'll try our very best to keep it healthy. And if for some reason, you know, it does like damage it or messes it up, then I'm just gonna cut my hair. So that's what I'm thinking. Nothing's in stone, but that's what I'm thinking, that I'll just end up cutting it and kind of starting with the, and when I say cut, I don't mean like shaved, but I mean like cut it down to we can grow it out, and I start my gray hair journey. I'm just not in a place where I really feel like I want to do that and like commit to cutting my hair and growing gray right now. I'll be honest, I'm just not gonna be able to do it right now. Hey, I cannot do it right now, y'all. What time is it? Okay. So this is the final look, a little 1-2. I'm about to go in and get transformed.
I've been through some things, ups and downs, but I'll call your name. This life I walk in faith, darkness not a slave. Jesus has my gaze, but I've been feeling prayed out, trying to find a way out. God, I need your help now, come show me. I've been trying to run away, feel like going in my head.
Say we gotta trust the process. Trust the process.
Making music, I don't talk to them. Now I'm chilling with the Most High, and I can't even get enough. Can't keep going back to what I used to know. Lord, please hold my hand as I go down this road. Can't keep going. Now I'm chilling with the Most High, and I can't even get enough. Can't keep going back to what I used to know. Lord, please hold my hand as I go down this road. Can't keep going.
The big father. See, my father was a very, 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 very big God. And my daddy
So it's Ava's birthday, but we all got ourselves together.
Who am I to deny what the Lord can do?
Told them about your pads, so this y'all officially get to meet my mama. Y'all have to go get the pads. I'm gonna link them in. I linked them in the previous video, but if y'all have questions, then just let me know. But this is the mastermind behind Lotus pads. Bye, mom. Love you. Bye, mom.
Bye, kids. Y'all be safe. Text me when y'all get home.
All right, let me see. Look how pretty. Let me see your hair.
Pass about Buc-ee's?
We will. I have to get gas.
Y'all look nice.
You can give me some cotton candy mints with some salt and vinegar chips, but the
I'm gonna be real honest. I want to be home so bad. I don't even think I'm going in. I'm paying at the pump, Pop. I'm trying to roll on. I'm trying to get home. Because otherwise we're going to get home too late, like 10 o'clock. I want to be at home. I'm ready to go to my house.
I can never escape from your spirit, never get away from your presence. If I go to heaven, you are there, and if I'm in the grave, then you are there. If I ride the wings of the morning, you will dwell by the farthest oceans. Even there, I can never escape from your spirit, never get away from your presence. If I go to heaven,
Now today I am going to a dermatology place that is run by two nurse practitioners. They're actually sisters. I'm going there because I want to be better educated about the things that's available for skincare. And like I've gotten pretty consistent with a nighttime routine and all those things. But in 2024, I lost 20 pounds, and it wasn't even intentionally. I just started getting real consistent with the Peloton, and because of that, girl, the weight was just falling off. So it just made me kind of research, okay, well, what can I do, like topical, what kind of face exercises I could do. I saw the PRP collagen stimulating stuff, so I was like, well, let me just look into that. I'm just going for a consultation. But even talking to my esthetician, she was just telling me how, you know, she gave me a lot of information that I did not know about it. Like a lot of the stereotypical things that I thought, it just wasn't the case. I want to know what options are available to take the best care of my skin. Stimulate my own collagen. I saw something about PRP, things that promote your body to do what it was already doing, and maybe it's getting lazy in doing it. I feel like at the end of 2024, around October, when I started really vlogging consistently on YouTube, I neglected my TikTok girls. Now Instagram, on the other hand, she gonna have to see everything after both of y'all see it, because I can't rock with Instagram.
come, Lord, take my hand and take me to the promised land, to the promised land.
Y'all, I got this off the Tarte concealer. It's regular price $32 in Ulta or Sephora. Yo, I got this off the TikTok shop for $16, and I have been hearing about TikTok shop. Almost all the things that you want out of the store are on the TikTok shop for much cheaper. This was $16, and at first I thought I was getting bamboozled. But no, this is literally the same thing. This is 53N. I use this when I don't want to use like heavy makeup. I just do like spot makeup in the vlog until I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Getting ready though, I'm gonna have like a real heart-to-heart with y'all. We know how January went for me, and you know what's crazy is I realized, well, you know, hearing just a lot of people, I heard a few people who were saying, you know, January was rough. We're not gonna dwell on the past. We're moving right along. This month is gonna be a great month. But one thing that I noticed is that for the first time, I didn't really feel like doing YouTube. Like I didn't have the excitement about it again. And when I say excitement, I don't mean like, oh, I'm just excited to record, but the excitement to like show up and do the things that I do, and talk to y'all about the things that I talk about. God is really showing me that whenever I get in, let's call them funks. If I get in a funk, then the first thing I want to do is not do what God told me to do. That's what I'm tempted with. One of the challenging things about being a Christian and really living this life is that you have to push through emotion. You have to push through the things that you feel and be obedient to God. I've got to figure out what I'm going to wear, because this is as good as the makeup is going to get. I'm gonna put a little bit of this on because I am not putting on lashes. I just want to be simple, y'all. If you have been here a while, you know that I've talked to you about my yearly hiatuses or my yearly detox from weave and fake nails and fake lashes and all the things. And I do that so that I don't get wrapped up in it, because there has been a time that, one, before salvation, my looks just, oh my God, I idolized like all these things. And then there was a time that I actually like let it go too far and got caught up in the influencing thing and felt like I couldn't come on camera without my makeup done, without my hair done. And because of that, I do these heart checks where for, 3 to 6 months, depending on how I feel, I don't do anything. Like I may wear braids, but even in that time frame, I won't just wear just braids, because even braids can be naturally aesthetic, or, makes you look great, makes you look good. And it's not that I want to make myself look bad, but I want to just do those heart checks to make sure these things are not consuming me. Even when I got my hair done, I thought was like, oh, I need to go get my nails done, I need to do this. And I was like, no, you do not. What once worked in us and what is trying to work in us now, and that we are always mindful that we're not giving too much value to things that just flat out don't matter, to vanity. It's okay to look good. It's okay to invest in yourself. It's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay to do those things in moderation, and also having them in a value system where they are not outweighing the things that are really important. It just made me want to be more mindful about, even when I do come out of my little detox, that I don't want to fast from these things and then come out of the fast and jump right back into just being overtaken by them or just giving myself to it again. It's like, girl, you are good. You do not need to have hair, nails, lashes, all that. Your natural lashes are great. You don't need to have on nails. You're not going nowhere. You're not going on vacation. Nothing is wrong with getting your nails done. This is why it is so important to know what's working in you. I know what used to be in Mikey George. I know what I used to overindulge in. I know what used to take me completely left and distract me from God. So those little bitty things, those small foxes and behaviors and patterns, those are the things that we really have to watch out. And what may be a stronghold for me, or used to be a stronghold for me, may not be your stronghold. Maybe yours is TV. Girl, you spend more time on TV than in prayer, than with God, than talking to God. Like you'll spend 8 hours watching TV and ain't talk to God all day. Or maybe it's social media. You'll spend 8 hours on social media and haven't talked to God all day. It's just knowing about what is working in us, what is distracting us, and getting rid of those things, y'all. SCOURBY is very good. Like sometimes instead of listening to music on my way to work, I'll play SCOURBY and it's just him reading the Bible. And that's still me taking time and giving it to God, because I want that word to be downloaded in my heart. So make sure y'all download SCOURBY. Start at Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and just listen to that daily. And that is not the substitute for your Bible, but it is at least a good start, or it's a good filler instead of jumping on the social media, or instead of jumping online shopping, to hit that app and just let it run. That's a really good filler for your day, right? So I'm gonna have to turn this off, because I realize I am not one of the girls who can do a get ready with me, because when I talk, I use my hands. I stop doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I start talking directly to the camera. So I can't do this. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. So all right, y'all. So this is the outfit. I have a sheer shirt on. It's like a 2X from Target. And then I have my, I'll show y'all a little bit later in the vlog, but my oversized elephant trunk, wide leg trousers, and then I got my little Chanel doopy doopy doops. Best lotion on the planet right here. Coconut oil. the back room. Taylor, they do have this thing that they use to stimulate your own collagen production. Bruh. And this place is so nice. Like their building, their facility. I could do collagen. I can give you collagen in your coffee. But I can give you collagen in an injection if you want.
If you're someone who finds yourself waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., this is not a coincidence. It's not something you should ignore. This is a divine moment, a time when God is calling you to listen, reflect, and act. Don't be quick to dismiss these wake-up calls as mere sleep interruptions. In fact, it is often in the stillness of these early morning hours that God speaks to you most clearly, away from the distractions of the world. When you wake up during these hours, it may seem like an inconvenience or simply an odd occurrence, but in the spiritual realm, nothing is random. The early hours of the morning between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. carry significant meaning in Scripture. It is often the time God uses to awaken the Spirit for deeper communion and revelation. What do you do in those moments when your eyes suddenly open in the dark? What's your immediate reaction? This is a window of divine opportunity. A moment where the spiritual atmosphere is still and the distractions of the day have not yet begun to crowd out the voice of God. If God is calling you awake in these hours, it's time to respond. Don't roll over and go back to sleep. God may be prompting you for something greater. God may be prompting you for something greater. Many people simply check the time and try to go back to sleep. But in these moments, we must train ourselves to understand that God is calling us to be alert. If you find yourself awake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., it is likely that God is inviting you to rise and to engage with Him. This is a time when you can truly unlock spiritual wisdom and align yourself with God's perfect plan for your life.
Another vlog. Yeah, I don't even know where we left off. I don't know where I've been. Like, what have I been doing? I don't even know. I'm gonna dive right into it. This is the place that I can come and be honest with my community. I don't know if y'all remember a few weeks ago, and don't mind the way I sound, y'all. Like, I have like a post-nasal drip, sinus, allergy type thing going on, and it's really getting on my nerves. A few weeks ago, I don't know if y'all remember, I didn't post, and I was like, I have to wring out my heart before God and just make sure that I am not falling into old ways of making social media an idol. And I'm sharing this because I truly want to help you to identify the idols in your life, and then once you've identified those idols, always keep them pinned to the top of your mental board so that you cannot fall to that same thing again. And whether it be you having an idol, or maybe you backslid, or maybe you committed fornication, maybe you committed adultery, always watch the patterns of behavior to ensure that you don't do these things again. So I've shared with y'all before how I had a very, very lucrative influencing career. At the prime of my career, like literally could have retired doing influencing. I could have gave up medicine. God told me to give it up, and He brought the story of Abraham to me. Then He had me read about the children of Israel, you know, going into the different lands, and how He told them that, you know, you're coming through these lands, but You're not to worship what they worship. You're not supposed to do after their ways. You're not to marry. And he brought me to that to show me that he had created this place for me and he had allowed it to be successful. And the reason it was successful was God built a community of people who came together to literally just glorify God. And I would share testimonies and all these things. Well, when the money came into play, like I started getting all this money, and subconsciously I was like, man, if I talk too much about like specifics, like I'm never not gonna talk about God. But I started to really filter what I wanted to talk about so that I could be more appealing to brands. It brought a sense of bondage, and that's a side that I never really talked about. It brought bondage to me, and it brought a to me, like I don't know how to put it into words, but it brought a uneasiness to me because I literally thrive and come alive when I am doing what God has told me to do, sharing what God has told me to share, and just being used as the vessel that I know he's called me to be. So when I started trying to filter through that and become more presentable to the world, it just had me so uncomfortable. So I was in prayer and God would show me like, hey, you need to focus, like you need to fast, you need to get away from it for a minute, you need to put it aside, you don't need to worry about content creating. And one thing God told me was, I'm putting you in these places. Your reward is not their reward. Your goal is not their goal. Their goal is to become these well-known influencers, and this is no shade to influencers, it's just the reality of it. Their goal is to become successful and retire, and that was my goal, you know, at one point. Their goal is to be appealing to brands. Their goal is to work with all these brands. So they have to post, so in their minds, they have to post consistently. They have to do all the things to be the influencer that they want to be. And he told me, he was like, but I have called you to this place. You don't have to do what they do and post every day and, you know, let this thing consume you, because I have created this place. And literally, y'all, I would see when I would post and be obedient, 5,000 to 10,000 people would sometimes come to the community that we were building on, mostly TikTok. I would post a video and get 5,000 to 10,000 followers. Whereas when I started doing it on my own to be more appealing to the world, I would see that it wasn't very effective. But even in that, to wrap that side of the story up, God had told me to cut back on it, start fasting, start praying, get in my word. And even though I was doing those things, I wasn't doing it with my whole heart. I was kind of doing it as a checklist to say, oh yeah, God, see, I did it. But my heart wasn't in it. I didn't get excited for the things of God like I now was for this career, this promising career that was before me. So he came in, I mean, after a little while, God was like, listen, I tried to give you a time to repent and like do this thing right, but now you got to give it up because you don't know how to act. And you have let this thing consume you, and this thing has become your God. Y'all, and when he showed that to me, the way I broke down and crumbled, like, I heard you, but I didn't hear you. Like, I wasn't listening, and you were trying to tell me, you were trying to warn me. I was so wrapped up in it that even when I walked away from influencing, I literally felt like I was going through a bad breakup. Like, that thing had become so knitted in who I was, and I had put so much time and energy in it, and I had really come to a place that I was worshiping it, because worship means to have a deep admiration for. Like, it's just, I gave myself to it. God told me to give it up, and I did. And I did this post, and I just talked about how I was giving it up, and so many people couldn't believe it. Many people reached out and whatever. I had this sadness that I couldn't shake. And God came in and he was like, you know what you're like? You're like a wife that committed adultery and the husband forgave her, and she is walking around the house like mourning and sorrowful for the relationship that she wasn't even supposed to have. And it's not that I wasn't supposed to have the relationship. He was just making the point that I'm your first love. Like, I'm the one that you're supposed to give your everything to, and I forgave you for your adulterous ways. And rather than rejoicing that I forgave you and now trying to repair this relationship, you are mourning something that profits you nothing. Like, you wasn't even supposed to be that wrapped up in this relationship that you had over here. And I was just like, oh Lord. So it was like, first I had to give it up. Then I had to go through like the sadness of giving up. Then I had to get whipped again because girl, why are you mourning this thing like it was an actual relationship? Because it was your God. It was truly an idol. I had to lay the foundation for y'all that may be new. So with that being said, I separated. I didn't do paid influencing for 3 years, and I actually just started back like doing any of it maybe in the last year and a half. Don't quote me, but I just know that I didn't do anything for 3 years. That's how long it took for God to uproot things out of my heart and to really give me a blueprint on what to follow. Y'all, when I came back in that time, I began to give myself to God. Hallelujah. I began to give myself to God, and I began to give myself to his word. And oh, it's like I just began to love on him all over again. And it was like, oh my God, I just can't even explain, y'all. Oh, in that 3 years, God did something in me that listened to me. When I came back, I was a soldier that knew what the assignment was. It wasn't to dress nice, even though I like dressing. It wasn't to talk about makeup, even though I would talk about that at times. It wasn't to talk about anything but God. And when I tell you, I started being obedient to what he said, and my mind changed from seeing people coming and followers coming from dollar signs to, oh, these people really want to hear about God, because I know I'm not promoting anything but God. He gave me a boldness to just go forward and do what he told me to do. Once he started building like this community, this YouTube community, I wanted to be consistent, and that was my goal. Like, God helped me to be consistent, but I knew based on the blueprint that he gave me last time, listen, you could be consistent on this, but it's one thing that you better make sure that you are consistent with, and reading your word, that's fasting. Initially, I was doing a very good job at that. You know, I began to see that while God was bringing this community, like I would literally be praying for those that would follow me on TikTok, follow me on YouTube. And I just was like, God, help me to be a vessel that can help these people. As it began to grow faster and more, I started thinking like, ooh, like I could do some campaigns because God, I could use an extra, you know, $3,000 to $5,000. Like, and while there's nothing wrong with that, to desire or have a goal to want to make an income off of it, my heart shifted a little bit, not even a lot. And that's why I said it's so important to know how you failed and what was the steps that allowed you to get to a place of falling. When I started seeing that little thought come up too much, like, ooh, a campaign, I could be more appealing to brands if I do this, that, and the other. So then after that thought was kind of coming in, I started like following people who were like fashion influencers and following people who did makeup tutorials, and I started putting these things before me. So that is what was depositing in me. It's so important for you to be mindful of what you are spending your time watching and doing. More importantly, watching, because whatever you download in your mind, that is what's going to be on your mind. That's what's going to be in your spirit. If you start saying, you know, I look at it like this, just like the Instagram, TikTok, YouTube algorithm, the enemy is studying us. If you are somebody that's struggling with being lonely, guess what he's gonna have pop up on your TikTok, your Instagram, and all these platforms? All the couples. Oh God, we just got through Valentine's Day. All the couples, all the flowers, all the bears, all the this. So if you're someone that's like single and saving yourself for marriage, and you know you're not dating all over the place, and you know you really made that covenant with God, the enemy is studying you like an algorithm. So the more you sit there and watch that and click on the love and click on Valentine's Day, and knowing that that's something that you desire, desire, putting that before you will make you desire it more, and it will make it easier. Not saying that you would fall, but it will make you it will make it easier for you to fall, because the enemy can slowly sift you out by feeding you these things that you desire. And now when you sit up in the house by yourself, he can sit there and minister to you all day long. But you running out of time. Oh, but you 30 years old. Oh, you almost 30 years old. Oh, ain't nobody gonna want you. You better try to hurry up and get married while you young. Oh, what's wrong with just going on a date? What's wrong with you just answer the call? Girl, call him back. That might be your only opportunity. And he'll just start ministering to you in the place that you're at, so that he could get you to fall, especially if you fall into it before. If you're not mindful of the patterns and the patterns and the steps it took for you to fall, you will fall again. So after I started following all the different people, it's like my heart shifted a little bit. And again, this is the beginning stages, right? So my heart kind of shifted. And I'm like, man, I want to go to New York Fashion Week. I want to do this. And y'all, and again, it's nothing wrong with this. But whenever there's a shift, there's like, and not even a drastic shift, but I'm talking about God up here, spiritual things up here, boom, boom, boom. It's all about God. Everything else is second. But then you start giving yourself to something else, start desiring things that are outside of God, started desiring carnal, natural things, and girl, why is God right here and all that mess is up here? Ain't no way. When I started to follow these pages and get kind of wrapped up in it, and like I said, the beginning stages, right? I started following the pages, started kind of looking at everything, and then I started feeling that feeling again, like I can't even explain it. It's just like I ain't being used like this though. Like I want to be used by God. Like the order from God was to open your mouth. Get on these sites and begin to speak what I tell you to speak. I told y'all, when I do that, I come alive. But something about when I give myself to anything else, like whenever it's trying to become priority and war with where God is in my life, it's just like, but that fleshly natural side is like, oh, but I got it though. You know, like I could do it though. I did it before, I could do it again. And I'm like, when that happened, I was like, yeah, buddy finna go on a fast. Like you. I'm watching you flesh. Like you about to go on a fast. And if I gotta fast until I'm 20 pounds, I'ma fast until I'm 20 pounds. Cause you ain't taking me back down that road. I ain't finna get in trouble for you because you wanna cut up and wanna be in the spotlight. Flesh, today you gotta come subject to the spirit. And that's when I was like, y'all, I sent the post up and I was like, I've gotta wring out my heart before God. Y'all, I got in that, I got into prayer and I just surrendered all my wants and desires. I was like, God, I do want to be in these places, these spaces, but I don't want to be in these spaces because of the popularity that it brings. Like, put me in a place mentally and spiritually, like when I get into these spaces, when you open these doors for me, that even at the fashion week, I can preach the gospel. Even when I go on the different influencing trips, I can preach the gospel. Even when I go and meet these different brands, I can preach the gospel. And until I'm at a place where I can do that confidently, going into these spaces, shut every door. Because I don't want nothing outside of you. I don't want the money. I don't want the popularity. I don't want none of that stuff. I want God. And I want to fulfill my purpose in God more than I want the big name brand check. Listen to me. The way I screamed and cried out to God, and it's like something broke in me. And I was like, this here and this, and I had been kind of in this maybe since, man, like the beginning of January, I kind of felt the shift trying to come. But I was just like, no, like I can identify what is happening and I'm going to do something about it. I took it before God and I was like, God, anything in me that is desiring something outside of you, then I need you to crucify it and I need you to help me. And God has truly done that, y'all. Like it's like I felt like I got saved all over again because it was like, God, no, I truly want you. And at the end of the day, if I don't never make it to a fashion week, I'm okay. If I don't never make it to another influencing shindig, I am okay. If I don't never get another check from being a content creator, I am okay with that. And I truly mean it from the bottom of my heart. Those are things that are goals for me, but guess what? He's here, and baby, that goal is right here. It's not even balanced, because if it was balanced, it means that I love that thing as much as I love God, or I desire that thing as much as I desire God. Baby, God is up here, and that stuff is down here, and if it don't ever happen, I promise you, I'm gonna be okay. But y'all have got to watch the idols and the places that you have fallen in the past, and make sure that you have changed that behavior. You have identified the behavior or the steps that it took to get there, so you can prevent yourself from getting there again, girl. Like, don't let your flesh just run you ragged and drag you across the floor and make you do all these things that you don't want to do, or make you have shifts in your value system where God is no longer priority, but the things of the flesh are priority. Girl, listen, you can't even be spiritual if you're not feeding yourself spiritually. The only reason that I could even acknowledge where I was is because I was still praying, I was still reading my word, I was still listening to SCOURBY, I was still doing things that kept me spiritually strong. Now, when you are not doing these things and you are now becoming more fleshly and carnal, oh, you're gonna consciously manipulate yourself to think that everything you're doing is okay, when it's not. The minute you start praying, God is going to reveal to you the idols and the steps that you're taking and the direction you're going, if it is contrary to him. So, all right, y'all. So that is my spiel for today. As we move forward this week, I want you to identify the steps and the things that you're doing that may be contrary to God, or may it land you in situations that you fought and prayed to come out of. But we should pray to see things spiritually, and we should make sure that nothing is on the same playing field as God. And that starts with prayer, and that starts with talking to God. I hope y'all not bold enough to leave y'all's house without praying. That's all I have. I gotta go do something with my sinuses. So one thing that I forgot to mention at the end of that testimony is that the Bible says, do not take fire in your bosom, as you're gonna get burned. For now, because I saw that I was not in a place to even give any time or thought to, oh, maybe I can make money with influencing, because it took me too far left, I went back and unfollowed all those influencers that have made influencing like their image. It's no shade to them, but I gotta look out for me. I got to work out my own salvation. I know that that could be a stumbling block for me. So while I'm cheering for you, rooting you all on from afar, unless it's someone that I made like a real connection with, I am not following many influencers. I just gotta work out my own salvation, sis. Like, it too easily be a distraction for me right now. When God gives me the go, I know that I'll be ready. When he opens the door, I know it'll be time to walk through it. But anytime I got to put a lot of effort into trying to obtain something, I don't think that comes from God. It says when God asks you, he asks no sorrow. And that little feeling, it is not going to be there when the opportunity is right and when it's truly from God. And even if an opportunity does come, until God tells me yes or no, I ain't even taking it. I had an offer not long after, I had an offer last year during Essence, like a nice little offer, and I kind of went back and forth with it, and I was just like, God, if it's not meant to be, like if this is not what you want me to do, like shut this thing down. And like I had the offer on the table, and at the end of the day, it did not go through. So I was like, hey, I'm telling you, nice little chunk of change for somebody who had been on a hiatus for 3 years and was coming back. Nice little chunk of change. But guess what? That chunk of change is not worth my anointing. That chunk of change is not worth my dedication. That chunk of change is not worth me not being used by God, girl, because I want that more than I want that little chunk of change. So if God doesn't tell me yes or no clearly and plainly, girl, I ain't doing it. Y'all got to do inventory of y'allself. If you know that you're a single sister, you're one of my single sisters, and you're holding out to marriage, you don't want to, you know, slip up and do the wrong thing in salvation, stop watching all of these love shows. Stop watching all these people on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Stop watching all these people with their beautiful relationships, and the man that sends the girl flowers every other weekend. Oh, he's always surprising her with some type of gift. Stop setting traps for yourself and allowing space and opportunity for the enemy to use these avenues as ways to get to you and to have you doubting what you're doing for God. I think I'm going to wrap this one up until next week's vlog. So love y'all so much for supporting. There is nothing else that I'm advertising besides God. Like, I can be true to myself, true to what I love, true to talk about God, because anybody that knows me knows she gonna be talking about God. So the fact that he is creating this space that I can do that, and he's adding people to this community, I don't see y'all as just numbers. I truly see y'all as my sisters and brothers who God is bringing to this place so that we can share testimonies. Because listen, I read every comment. Well, let me not say every. I try to read every comment. If the video gets old, I don't always go back to those videos, but like, I try to stay current on commenting back to y'all, because like, I really do enjoy what I'm doing, and I enjoy connecting with y'all and hearing y'all's testimonies, and even hearing about how these videos are helping y'all. Y'all don't even know how valuable and how beautiful that this is that God is creating. So I just thank God for y'all being here and knowing that the only reason you're here is because of him, because there's nothing else that Michael George has to sell or advertise, girl. Or link, because y'all know I don't like to link stuff. I'll see y'all next Sunday.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Deborah, and I'm a faith-based content creator. So I make content sharing all about my journey with God to encourage you on your journey with him, with our Heavenly Father. So welcome.